Im Rate der Vorsehung ward es anders beschlossen. Die Umtriebe eines Hasserfüllten.
In the serenity of the Austrian Alps, in a villa once called Heaven on Earth, World War I began.
Zur Sicherung ihres Besitzstandes.
This is where Emperor Franz Josef spent his summers. He ruled the Habsburg Empire for 68 years, from 1848 until his death in 1916. It was largely a peaceful reign. After all, historians say the king preferred the quiet life of the country. Well, believe it or not, for a king at the time, this was considered to be a simple home. And some historians say that his advisors chose this idyllic setting to convince him that war was a good idea, that at the age of 84, they knew he'd be vulnerable, alone, and perhaps more easily persuaded. Here in his study, the emperor wrote, "To my people," a letter to rally his multi-ethnic empire behind the decision to go to war. 100 years later, the Archduke Marcus Salvator, his great-great-grandson, occupies the very same desk.
The machinations of a hateful opponent forced me, after long years of peace, to take up arms to protect the honor of my monarchy, to safeguard its reputation and its authority.
No one foresaw the consequences of those words. More than 16 million people died during World War I. June 28, 1914. Josef's nephew and heir presumptive, the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and his wife Sophie were assassinated in Sarajevo. Historians say the assassination was carried out by Serbian nationalists with links to the country's intelligence service. A month later, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia.
But that should have been a local war, a war between two states. It escalates to a European war because of the alliance system.
Austria-Hungary was allied with Germany and secured German support before declaring war.
Serbia, in turn, has a very powerful friend in Russia. Russia is very culturally similar to Serbia.
Fearing French support for Russia, Germany preemptively invaded Belgium and northern France, which then drew Britain into the conflict.
And this makes the war global, because both Britain and France have huge international empires.
It was a series of decisions that led to more than 4 years of death and suffering.
Im Rate der Vorsehung ward es anders.
Salvator says his great-grandfather's words still haunt him. How does it make you feel to read those words?
You feel unhappy, very sad.
You obviously wish this had never been signed here.
Of course, one would feel happier that it was not done, and especially should not have been done here in his favorite place.
It's hard to believe that out of so much beauty came the beginnings of the war to end all wars. Erin McLaughlin, CNN, Bad Ischl, Austria.